container, so they just kind of.
Enemy in the container.
Oh well. Thank you for pretty much confirming what I just said.
Right now, I resided somewhere in Minnesota. It's cold. It's like negative 18 degrees outside right now.
80s pop funk, you know.
My first job was on Madden 20.
So I'm Prescott Lawani, the owner of Padlockes Technologies. It's my game company. I started in 2020. Currently, I am teaching a lot of different schools, video game design and development, 3D modeling and coding. And the game I'm currently working on is called Locks the Thief, which is currently in development, and you can wishlist it on Steam right now.
Oh, okay, cool. So kind of explain to me like what about that game? Tell me a little bit more.
Okay, so yeah, it's highly influenced by the Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
It has a lot of Zelda aspects to it, but it's also influenced by this game called Thief, which is kind of a cult classic. Some people know it, some people don't. But,
yeah, I played a little. I had a little time with Thief. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you're to mix the colorful puzzle and combat of Zelda with like the storyline and the intrigue of Thief and put those together, you get Locks the Thief.
Cool.
You play as actually a Black protagonist. He gets into a relationship, an interracial relationship, and there's a little bit of story with that. And there's a plot between two tribes. There's 3 tribes in the whole game, and there's 2 tribes are trying to take away the power from the main tribe, which has most of basically the magic energy, and they want to take over the land or the world in a sense.
Okay.
It's my first game, so I can't actually make it a world. And I'm doing it on my own. I'm doing the development, the programming, the art, most of the art. And every now and then I outsource to people using things like Fiverr and Discord to try to do the things that I don't know how to do.
Yeah, I do the same thing when it comes to Fiverr. I mean, Fiverr can save your life sometimes. It seems like.
Yeah. I have a whole soundtrack because of Fiverr.
Right. Yeah, and different. I mean, all the different stuff that you can use Fiverr for. But
yeah.
So with all of the things that I mean, you're making this game and you're wearing a lot of hats and stuff, obviously. Kind of take me back as to like what really got you started in really wanting to go down this path. Like what made you say, you know what, this is what I want to do, in the future, and learning this coding and all of this different type stuff. Because I'm imagining, especially now, if you're doing some teaching, it's probably different from when you first started. So kind of talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. My story is kind of it took a lot of different turns, really. So I wanted to be a game developer for a long time. When I was younger, about I would say 5th grade, I was drawing comic books. I had my own little personal comic book that I was drawing, and I eventually learned how to give it like a battle system and like equipment system and all that stuff. I had this like whole paper and pencil dice and card system that I did to have the characters interact with each other. And ironically, I didn't even know about Dungeons and Dragons when I did this. If I did, it probably would have been even more into the comic book, but I did have my own system that I made, and it really it enlightened me. And then I ended up playing a game called Grail Online, this old school 2D game. It's kind of like a Link to the Past, but it's online, massive multiplayer online. And they had a mod mode, and I ended up modding that game and making my own games out of that. So that was around when I was 16. I ended up going to college, got a degree in art and technology with a focus on game design and development, where I took classes like C++, C Sharp, Maya, 3D modeling, animation, game design, learned how to write a game design document. But I went for a different turn after that, because my capstone project at college, I actually ended up making a hip hop album. And it's cool that you said you like to do the music, but get involved in games too, because I was kind of doing that myself. I ended up doing hip hop here in Dallas, Texas for a while. I was rapping for quite a while, did that for about 15 years. Eventually met my girlfriend, and I showed her, I was working on this program called RPG Maker.
Okay.
And I made a quick game based on her and me, and she was like, "You should be doing this for a living." I was like, "That's actually a good point." So I kind of stopped doing the hip hop for a while. I do it every now and then, but I focus mostly on the game design. And I was originally the last 3 years focusing on the programming, but I decided now to focus even more on the 3D modeling. I ended up going to school again after I got my bachelor's degree. About 3 years ago, I went to a community college to like sharpen my skills. And when I was there, I was helping a student in one of my classes, and the instructor ended up being the head of the game design department, and he offered me a job as a teacher, which is how I got my first teaching job. It ended up being really fun teaching students, because you can learn and help people learn at the same time, which helps like working on my game. And then from there, I started working on my game, and I started applying to a bunch of different schools, and I ended up with 2 other school teaching jobs since then. So I've been teaching things like VFX, animation and rigging, game design and development, storyboarding, intro to coding in Python, game design and development in Roblox. And I just recently got a 3D character modeling job that should be starting soon. So yeah, I'm pretty busy with the teaching thing, but luckily it pays the bills, and
yeah,
it helps.
I mean, like you say, you get to you also get to kind of practice while you helping other folks.
Exactly.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a intriguing kind of opportunity, it seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's happened so naturally like that. I mean, I think it probably it probably makes it a little bit more fulfilling, I guess. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, it does.
Conversation you having with some of these kids too, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, I definitely tell them like how many different ways that they can do it to get in there, to get into the field and the industry. I feel like in the beginning, like back when our parents were always telling us, "You can't make money off of this. You need to stop playing video games." I feel like there was one person that's like, "I'll show you," and then now it just exploded, and we got this esports thing going on. And
Locks the Thief will be it has a Steam key and all that different type of stuff. So like kind of when you're making games like that, like how do you know, or what's the idea as far as, okay, I want it to be here and kind of want it to serve this type of audience, or what is your general idea as far as when you're coming up with all of this stuff kind of in the game, organically?
Honestly, I haven't 100% decided. We were we're like edging towards Nintendo, because it's very Zelda-like. It's very like friendly of a game. There's like no cursing, no blood. There is violence, but it's like toon violence.
Right.
But I also know that if I can get the resources and like get it into something like Xbox and PlayStation, I have no problem with doing that. I would really appreciate doing that, because it would definitely it would increase the popularity of the game by so much more than just Nintendo.
Right. Do you have any type of as far as release dates or like time frames as far as when you're trying to release your game?
Man, not yet. I'm hoping to get the demo on the Steam page. I'm trying to get the demo out hopefully by the end of April, but I have been pushing that back a little bit. I do have I have it where the demo is basically made, but I want to add a little bit more into it to make it just that much more interesting for people.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna release it a demo this March or this month, but I pushed it back to next month. And the game itself, I'm hoping I'm very hoping for next August, on my mom's birthday, August 10th, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if I'll be able to make that. I would have to put in a lot more hustle into it to get everything that I want to get. But I might be able to, because by December of this year, my company will be able to get a business loan from the bank it's from. So I should be able to get funds to be able to like maybe outsource a little bit more and get like a programmer to do stuff. Because I'm a decent programmer, but I'm not like the best. I've met a lot of programmers doing this, and there's so many of them that are just so much more above me that I would rather them work on the programming and me work on the art. So
Yeah.
so I'm hoping for August, hopefully next August, and a demo next month.
So basically, to kind of close this out, really, like what are you like as far as future plans? Like, let's just say after this game that you're working on now, like kind of what's next for you as far as like what you want to work on, kind of like obviously you're probably still going to be doing your thing with the kids and teaching and stuff like that. So kind of what's next as far as like you in the gaming space, like as far as your company and stuff like that?
Well, I want to make the Locks of Thief thing into a franchise.
Okay.
I definitely want to do that. I have a bunch of other plans like sequels. It was originally a 2-player split screen game called The Thief and the Muse, based on me and my girlfriend. But I had to change it a little bit to make it fit. But I want the sequel, like if the first one is successful enough to get me funds, I want to put that into the sequel to make that first plan, and then another one after that to be even bigger and just make it bigger like that. But I also have other ideas, like other game types. Like I kind of have a game that's similar to Metal Gear Solid that I wanted to make a long time ago, and just a bunch of like I have so many ideas for games, and like I just want to get them done. But like I definitely, the number one thing I know I need to do is get this game done, and like just do it one step at a time, and not like overscope things. You know, but I definitely like the plan is to make a franchise that I can like.
Yeah.